welcome to our podcast, Learning, Leading Now, where we talk all things education and Mobile County Public Schools. I am your host, Director of Communication, Renee Phillips, joined by our co-host, the fabulous Asha Staples.
Hello.
Hi.
Nice to be here. Good morning.
And you brought a very special guest for us today.
I did. Some people might know him. Also, I was doing a Facebook check to see what all he's been. We've taken pictures of all the ROTC things. Command Sergeant Major Brown is here to join us also to talk a couple of different things, JRTC, military, and such. So
Good
happy
morning.
to have you.
Good
Welcome.
morning. Thank you.
And Command Sergeant Major, that's a big deal.
It is.
He's being very
He's
humble.
being modest. And I will just tell you, our listeners, I come from a military family. My grandfather was Command Sergeant Major of Redstone Arsenal, and I didn't know how big a deal that was until I had the honor of writing his obituary. So it's a big deal. That's the highest ranking non-commissioned officer. It's big.
Yes, it is. So it's over a career. Every officer is given a non-commissioned officer to assist them, and the command sergeant major and a sergeant major normally are assigned to field grade and higher officers, and we assist them in daily operations and advise them on personnel, and we take care of the enlisted soldiers. So if the officer is the father of the organization, providing resources and discipline and things like that, and the non-commissioned officers like the mother, we make sure they're trained, fed, they understand their jobs and what they have to do on a day-to-day basis and get it done.
I love that analogy. You're the mother.
Yeah.
So you're the getting it done.
Right.
No offense to all the dads out there, but you get it done, right?
Well, they say the man is the neck and the woman is, or the head and the woman is the neck, because you got to turn and
Right.
Pivot.
really operate.
Right.
Yeah. So they're
Pivot.
the ones that are important.
Lots of logistics there.
Lots of logistics.
Lots of logistics. And so you were in the Army for how long?
31 years regular Army service, continuous service, no breaks, and I came out of the military and came right here and went right to work here in Mobile County.
Yeah, and tell us about how that transition was for you.
So
'Cause you're a parent, and that led you here.
Yes,
Yep.
as a parent, my daughter came here to Bishop State, and I was going to Pam and I was going to the academy for the Sergeant Major Academy, and she was between colleges, so we boarded down here to look at schools. She decided she would go to Bishop State for a while, and she stayed, got married, and took up residence here in Mobile. Pamela does have family here, so we knew about the area. That's kind of why we came down here. But once we retired, came upon our retirement, we were originally talking about going to Kentucky, but Pam said she wanted to come closer to where Tawana was, so we wound up here in Mobile.
So your wife's
love it.
military also?
She is not. She's a military brat. Her father was
Okay.
also military, but she military-wise, she did 31 years with me. So
That's a job in and
that
of
is a
itself.
job in
Yeah,
itself.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
So-
and brat is what we call ourselves when we're raised in the military. It sounds like a very strange term, but
It
you're
is.
you're a military brat. But I love your story because you're a parent. Your child grows up. We have a lot of listeners who are parents. We're parents. They grow up, but you're still making decisions based on them.
Yes, ma'am.
And,
That's
you
right.
still love them, and you come all the way to Mobile, and we're so lucky to have you here. So we're
Thank
thankful
you.
to your daughter. that you're
Yes,
here.
thank you.
So, and education was important to your family, obviously.
Very much so. I have aunts that taught for 30 years plus. My sister was a high school and grade school teacher. So yes, we do understand the value of education. I'm a product of ROTC, and I say today, I remember classes, things that I was taught in ROTC that I remember to this day. And if you told me something about science or math, something I did in the class, I couldn't tell you anything probably. But I remember classes about communication, about self-awareness, and things like that I learned, and they were so real that as an adult you are still using those things.
Yeah.
And I think back to that, I was like, wow.
Those real life skills.
Right. They are real life skills. So I am really advocate of the program. And leaving the military, I said, this is what I want to do. And anybody that's interested in changing lives and preparing leaders for tomorrow, they should get into this business.
It's fantastic. And so you left your career as a command sergeant major. You're still a command sergeant major, and you came and you taught.
Yeah, so for
Here
5 years.
in Mobile County,
Yep.
uh-huh.
For 5 years, I taught at Blunt High School. with Robbie Cross, Freddie Green, Clifton Robertson, Danny Christian, who is now at Alma Bryant High School, and then I got pulled up here to the central office to work with Colonel Barrow as operations NCO, and basically now I take care of all the logistics planning for the 14 schools that we have in our footprint. That includes we shepherd both Chickasaw and Satsuma, but the 12 high schools, one Navy program at Davidson, Army programs at the other 11 schools, we shepherd them, take care of their logistics coordinations for things that they have to do, provide resources from the military, from them, from the Army side, and from our brigade, which is under Cadet Command, U.S. Army Cadet Command. So we are the linchpin between them and the Army. In a lot of cases, we assist the schools in hiring. We will certify their instructors, find people that's out there that's interested in the program. So those are the type things that our office does for the 11 Army programs.
You're still the mom, bringing it all
Still
together.
the mom. Still the mom.
And we just had the cadet promotions. Was
Yes.
it last week at a number of our high schools? So what's it like to work with those kids and go back and see them continue to do good things in this program?
So that is it's an awesome thing to watch these kids grow and develop. And a lot of the cadets that we promoted to the brigade staff, we've watched them from sophomores, freshmen, grow up in the program, and to see them mature and become leaders, it is a really awesome thing to watch. We promoted, there's 5 positions. There's a command sergeant major for the brigade, and then 4 officers who are being promoted from lieutenant colonel to colonel. There's 1 brigade commander, and then a logistics officer, an operations officer, and a deputy brigade commander. And those students, they perform, when we do a district level function, they lead those functions. They do some planning for our military ball. They actually serve as judges and coordinators for our drill competitions and things like that. So they have a leadership role. The last group that did it last year, they came up with a motto and a planning for, we changed how we do our drill ceremonies under that group. And we want to perpetuate that, so every year the new group of kids actually leave their fingerprints on the brigade across all those schools and the things that they are developing.
I love that. And I always think it's interesting. I don't know if you ever do the mock interviews at the high schools, but I always notice a significant difference of students who are a part of JROTC when they're answering questions and just having the knowledge to I guess, talk about themselves and their experiences and really articulate certain things versus the standard student. So I'm always like, it's pretty impressive that they're learning these kind of these different things.
Because it's not just a military learning, they're learning those communication skills. I've noticed that too, like especially at the JROTC STEM Academy, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a minute, but it's the eye contact, right? And it's they're confident. And those are things you want your child to have, right? Those abilities.
And this to articulate your thoughts and your feelings and obviously have those conversations with adults, because a lot of kids, they just have never been asked, what do you want to do for a living and where do you want to live or what are your dreams? And I think it's them having those conversations and, you know, repetitively, you know what I mean? So it's good. I like to see that.
And you have different situations. You mentioned those two, but also just what do you want to do? Period. What do you want to do today?
Or just tell me about yourself.
Right,
They can't.
exactly.
They can't say you know XYZ about themselves.
Right. And there's a we teach those soft skills that you just mentioned. And this is a student-led program. So some people may say they have student-led programs, but our students actually lead our program. We put them out there, allow them to take charge, make mistakes. I mean, it's a safe environment, and they're allowed to operate and understand the burden of leadership, the responsibilities that go along with being in charge of something, and how to. Because one thing people think that leaders, they say leaders. Some people think that leaders make people do stuff. No, you inspire people. Leadership is inspirational. It does not. I'm not making anybody do anything. I'm making them want to do something. So we teach them those type skills, and they leave with the understanding of those things so they can interact with other human beings on a day-to-day basis and be leaders out there in the world.
Because one important thing that often gets confused is, yes, it is an avenue to go into the military, but really JROTC prepares you for any career, for college, for anything that you want to do, right?
And yes, that's one of the things that I'm an advocate of, that the fact that too many people think that we are trying to, get people to enlist right into the military. We're trying to get people to go to college, and we're trying to get them to be successful in life. No matter what they choose to do. And as Ms. Phillips just alluded to, the things that you learn in our classroom, you will use in life in any round. Because we talk about financial management, we talk about group dynamics, we talk about interacting with individuals. Unless you're going to be a monk living up somewhere in a mountain, you're going to interact with people on a day-to-day basis. So these are the things that we learn in our classroom, and the things that they are exposed to, and it allows them that opportunity to exercise those skills early, so that when I grow up and enter the real rat race of the business world or college or whatever I'm going into, my experiences in GRTC taught me that I can persevere, I can deal with these different situations, and I have an understanding of how people behave. And I'm not going to run and hide when something goes wrong, because I understand this is something we have to go through to get to the next step.
These are skills. Asha and I are both communication people, but these are skills we need every day.
Yes. And so I'm wondering, okay, so we just introduced the LOTC program this year. We kind of, I don't know if anybody watches the news, but we've done some news coverage to kind of introduce and get people familiar with hearing LOTC. So talk to us about that program and how it may be different from JRTC or similar.
Okay, so the LOTC is a leadership officer training. They didn't say corps. I can't remember the last letter, but ROTC is a Reserve Officer Training Corps, and J is for junior. Junior means it's at the high school level. The senior program at the colleges is ROTC. The LOTC took from those that lineage, and we're reaching down to the 6th, 7th, 8th graders to start building in those at those levels some of these same skill sets that we've just mentioned. But in addition to that, we're also introducing them to a different learning environment where they get opportunities for robotics or STEM type events, and not what's in the math room or in the science room. These are complementing those classes where they actually get to put their hands on stuff and build a robot, or go out and explore nature and actually do these things that they're learning in the classroom.
I love that, because you have to catch them younger.
Yes.
So that 6th, 7th grade level is always important. So what's the turnout been like?
It's been good. So the 7 schools that we have in Mobile County that are now operating under with these programs, and it's going to be Lott Middle School, Callaway Smith, Hankins, Williamson Preparatory, over at Williamson High School, the Sims, and Pillins. So those are the 7 schools that are involved in this program. And the turnout, like all schools, every school has its different flavor, but the turnout has been great. We have classes up to 100 or a student body of over 100 in some schools, and I think the lowest number may be in the 40s. But it's a new program. It's all voluntary. The kids were able to volunteer for it. And over time, we believe it will grow. Because the kids are very excited. I mean, when you go down there and see them operating, they are very excited about what's going on.
And the cool thing is, this is the first LOTC program in Alabama.
Yes, it is.
You guys had to go to Texas to find it, and it's been such a successful program there. Tell us kind of the story, because it's interesting. You wanted to bring it here to one school, and
so when Dr. Brackens approached Colonel Barrow about starting the LOTC, the interest was to put it at one of the schools, and I think that was going to be at Williamson. However, so he was tasked to go to Texas to do some exploration and discovery down there with the existing programs. And when he came back and provided the briefing, I think she moved from 1 to 4, maybe 5. Once she approved it and it went to Mr. Threadgill for final approval, he came back and said he wanted to do 7. So it grew exponentially there. And the good thing about that is now we have a comparison. We have, because every school is a little different culture, and you're touching more neighborhoods, more communities at the same time, to where the various kids from those areas or from those schools get to put their stamp on it, and each one of those programs is going to be a little different. Each culture, because we have in the JRTC, some schools they're very physical, so they like the Raider events and the physicality of what we do. Some schools are more academic; they like doing the Scholars Bowl and the drone portion of it and stuff like that. So we have a little bit for everybody, and now Callaway Smith and those, Pillins, Hankins, those schools will have an opportunity for those kids to participate in those type things and put their stamp on those also.
And the instructors, I know I met the instructor from, where were we at? Pillins.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's military background, and this was her first civilian job. So talk about the instructors and how you guys were able to source them out.
So all of our instructors are prior military. They're not the same. They may not be retired like ROTC. We have to be retired from the military, but they do have a military background. Each one of them, we went on a search. We found those that we have, and each one of them, again, they're from different branches of the service, so they bring a different flavor with them. Some of them have teaching experience. They taught somewhere else. Some of them don't have any, but they're interested in education. This is their opportunity to get into the education system and provide this for this structure for these students. And when you go around to the schools and see them operating, you see the discipline that they have as far as understanding the military structure, but also the passion they have as teachers and parents to give back to these children and educate them in a way that is fun. It excites them. It gives them a lot of opportunity to not only learn something, but put it into use on a day-to-day basis, and they really enjoy it.
So one cool thing that would have been attractive for me as a student is it's your PE credit.
Mm-hmm.
You also,
so you don't have to take PE.
Yes.
Yes. Well, yeah.
So yes, you also can get your PE credit is fulfilled through this course, and that's why some of the schools are tackling it. They're allowing the students to leave PE to come to that class, and that's where they're getting their population from. Now in the future, they'll probably schedule them. But again, we started this year, so they had already scheduled their classes and things like that. So that's how they got after getting them into the LOTC program.
We're building this plane as we fly it.
We are.
That's what we always say.
We do that a lot around here. We're good at it. We're good at it. But so what type of student should do this course? Or is there all types?
It's all types because the courses that we give offer so much. We have something for everyone, and again, the skills that are taught, everyone needs those skills. So it doesn't matter if you are, like, as I said, an athlete, an academic, a person who likes to work with your hands. It does not matter, entrepreneur. The courses that we teach or the things that we teach, it helps all those people, all those different individuals. As a matter of fact, we have a lesson that we cover about different personality types, talking about winning colors. And winning colors will address the differences, and there's 4 basic things we talk about. You're a builder, meaning that you like to put things, you're a leader, like to structure and put things to work and make things work. You're a planner. You like to be very detailed and structured and organized.
That's me, probably.
Yep.
I looked at you.
You're a relator, meaning that you're involved with people and you like to make sure that they're happy and okay about things. And then you are an adventurer. And we all have a little bit of all of those in us, but some people lean one way or the other. And we let the kids, we teach them that, and they start having some self-awareness that, hey, there's a reason why I'm not the first one to go do something. All right, because I want to think about it first and make sure it's safe or whatever your reasoning. But you're more of a planner. You want to be, you know, if I say, hey, let's go to this right now, you're going to think about it and say, oh, well, where are we going?
Yeah.
When we coming back? You know, there's a lot of questions they may have. Well, that person is, that's a planner. Some people going because they want to be with their friends. Well, that's the relator. They're trying to be more social. And then they learn how to use those different skill sets in different opportunities and different events. You know, a person there's a relator, you might be the person I send to go request something from somebody else because you have that skill set. You relate to people better than the builder. The builder going in and demands, hey, I need this for this reason. And we're not going to have a lot of chit chat and talk about it. Well, they may not be successful.
There's a time and place for all four.
That's right. It is. It is.
I love that we all have a little bit of all four, but we lean towards one or the other.
That's right.
Yeah, that's neat. And so this is like a prequel. You can go do LOTC, which is fantastic. I got to see it at Sims, and the kids were excited about it. And then you can choose to do JROTC. You don't have to.
Right.
But the JROTC program has been so successful in Mobile County. Like, I want to mention that. Like, aren't you proud to be part of it? Like, we won
I'm very
national
proud.
recognition. Lieutenant Colonel Barrow has been recognized as the top JROTC administrator in the country.
Yes.
He gets embarrassed when I mention that, but I mention it every time because that is so cool. And then the JROTC STEM Academy. I mean, you're active all year. Like you said, you've got the robotics, the drills, the navigation, orienteering, I think it's called.
Orienteering.
Rappelling. We've gone rappelling. That's fun.
Never again.
I love it. Asha, not so much. But she did it. She did it. She did it. She did
That's
it.
it.
That's all it
You did
took.
And the drones, all that, and the academics, the skills they learn. But the STEM camp over the summer, you've received millions of dollars in grants from the Department of Defense, the National Science Foundation. Tell us, I mean, you get to be a part of that. That is one of the coolest programs ever.
The STEM camps that we do, we have evolved from a more physical and because the Army has requirements for STEM camps, which was the rappelling and the land navigation, those things. So what we did, Colonel Barrow, somewhere around 2015, they changed the normal camp, summer camp, and they added STEM because that's where we're going. So they involved industries. So there's involvement of both the college education level, the high school education level, industry, and the other parts of the community. And within that week's time, we get about 160 students from around the county. They come to the STEM camp, and they are immersed in a STEM environment where they have college professors, high school teachers, people from the industry, demonstrating, showing them, taking them on tours, and doing all these things to let them know what is available right here in Mobile County, and around the world, but right here in Mobile County, job opportunities, STEM opportunities, things that they may desire to go and pursue in college, and then return here to Mobile or to Alabama to pursue as a career. It is done here in Alabama, of course, up in the Birmingham, Montgomery areas, Louisiana and Mississippi. Florida does something. And now our program, the way we have designed it here in Mobile, has been replicated by other counties and other states, all the way to California. They're doing what we do here in Alabama.
So I want to repeat that. We're doing something so awesome
Yes.
that they are implementing our program all over the state of Alabama, Asha's hometown of Atlanta,
Yep.
San Diego. Like, it's that good.
It's that good.
I know you're kind of modest, but like, do you sit and reflect on that y'all are doing and putting in this work to make this such a success that these other states are looking at old Alabama?
Well, and I think a lot of people may say things like that, but Alabama is as a state, I think, leads in these type of things. Remember now,
They don't realize that.
They don't realize it. Fort Rucker and Anniston
Woohoo.
is here. Hunter,
Yes.
so these places are very technical places.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
The space program,
what I'm saying,
helicopter
space program,
pilots, yes.
cybersecurity, all those things are right here in Alabama. So And those are military operations. Then you talk about shipbuilding. You talk about Mississippi with down in Pascagoula with Ingalls and things like that. There are major industries being developed and have been in existence for some time here in Alabama. And I think people just don't give credit to where it's due sometimes. But we know what we have, and we're trying to educate our children that see the opportunities that's right here in their backyard. And matter of fact, Archer, I can't think of the Archer. They make umbilical cords for the undersea drilling and stuff, right? That's a world-known company.
Yeah, so specialized.
Specialized, and right here in Mobile.
And shows that these science engineering jobs can be cool and fun and contribute to the world.
That's right.
That is cool. And same thing Asha said about your kids during the activities that she goes through, the mock interviews. When you go to that STEM camp, they're excited. They're living on campus. They're waking up early in the summer to run, which, no, thank you.
Full days.
But then they go do their robotics. They do the field trips. And I got to walk around as they were doing the robotics, and they look you in the eye. Miss Phillips, come look at this. So I'm going to do this. Do you think this is going to work if I do this? And I'm like, I don't know, but it sounds good.
Right.
And
Right.
it has
cool,
I know,
too.
and if it works like that confidence that you just showed me, yes, it's going to work.
Right.
And I went to the where was it? They did the water safety drill where they have to turn their pants into
drown-proofing,
Drown.
yes.
Yeah, I was like, now I know how to save myself. Now I have to remember exactly
Right.
what they were doing, but just to see them push each other when one was not really remembering how to do it or figuring it out, and I like the teamwork about that.
Yes.
We have great
Very
kids.
cool.
We do have great kids, and that's one of the things too. They learn to work with each other, and so we make sure that when we receive them at STEM camp, you get mixed up. You're not going to be,
They partner with you. You mix them with different kids from different
Roger,
schools.
from different
Love
schools,
that.
and it forces them to relate to each other and communicate and build relationships outside of your own environment, and so that diversity helps them also because they start realizing that, again, we are one community, and I have friends and associates all over the place, and we are have a common goal to be successful in life, and that's what we're trying to do. So it's very good. And I know you mentioned like the drown proofing. You said something about rappelling, but they do orienteering also in a day. So we have like 2 days during the camp where they do all those things: the orienteering, the rappelling, the drown proof, and all those things. But the rest of that camp is academic. Either they're in the classroom learning how or building the robot, or they're going out to a university or a industry to see it in
Learning
action.
more about,
Right. So
Packed full of learning and fun and
It
team
is.
building.
and they love it.
I'm sure they're tired by the time they're going home.
Oh, man.
And they can't bring their phones, right?
Yes,
Oh,
the
we
best
take-
part, you take their phones. Thank you for
So-
doing
so,
that.
yes.
I love that. And they live. They don't have the
They
phones,
do,
they live.
and they
It's
find
awesome.
out that they don't even remember their phone after. It takes them about a day.
Yeah. And then
Takes
Maybe
about
2
a
and a
day,
half.
that's a great thing.
and
So,
then they're good.
well, we have to go, but we want to thank you for everything that you're doing, what all of our JROTC and LOTC instructors are doing throughout the county. You're really making a difference in our kids' lives.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for it.
We'll catch you next time on Learning Leading Now.